Welcome. Now we're going to talk about, I am going to talk about, you're just going to listen and write stuff down, all about primary sources 2. Is it fake? Bias? Evaluating primary source websites. Before relying on the information, try to understand what the purpose of the website is and what organization sponsors the website. While the purpose might not affect the accuracy of the primary source material it contains, it might indicate that the material has been altered or manipulated in some way to change or influence its meaning. In other words, making it biased, or changing it enough that it's not really true. So, you should then always look at the material and figure out what the purpose is. Sorry, Gertie's in the background. Primary source. Material can be used to persuade the reader to a particular point of view. Sometimes the authors distort the primary source in obvious or subtle ways. If the primary source is cited incorrectly, that may be a sign that the site is biased. Look for websites with a non-biased, balanced approach to presenting sources. Websites produced by educational or governmental institutions are usually more reliable than personal websites, but governmental websites may be subject to propaganda. Who is responsible for the website? Hints are in the URLs. URL, Uniform Resource Locator, include the names and types of organization sponsoring the web page. The 3-letter domain and 2-letter country code provide hints on the type of organization. Reading a URL, you've got protocol, computer domain, name, path name, and file name. Now, this information was obtained from navigators.com, the website you can see at the bottom of the page. So protocol, this defines what internet protocol is required to reach an online resource. Commonly used protocols include HTTP, that's mostly what we use, FTP, news, etc. Number 2, computer domain name. The domain name of the server where the information is located can also be the server's IP number. 4, filename.ext. The name of the desired file. If no specific file name is indicated, a file called index.html, default.html, or home.html may be downloaded if present. The ext file extension cues the web browser on how to handle the download file. The web browser can display some file types within the browser display area or may invoke additional software such as plugin. And so then you've got examples of what the different things would mean. HTML or HTML hypertext markup language web page. Who is responsible? Oops, wrong way. All right. This is an example of the domain and a sample address of it. .edu, educational institution. .gov, U.S. government site. organization or association, .com, commercial site, .museum, a museum, .net, a personal or other site. Who is responsible for the website? Check for an author. Look for the name of the author or organization responsible for the page. Look for the following information: credentials, who is the author or organization, and what sort of qualifications do they have? Contact address, is an email or some other contact information given? About link, is there an about, background, or philosophy link that provides author or organizational information? Is there a clear purpose or reason for the website? Websites can be created for a variety of purposes: to disseminate information, that means tell you what it means, tell you stuff, provide access to collections, support teaching, sell products, persuade, etc. Discovering the purpose can help determine the reliability of the site and the information it provides. Some pages explicitly state their purpose, and others do not. To find information about the purpose, check for an about link. These links often provide some information about the purpose of the site. Find the home page of the site. Sometimes the page includes the about link or other clues on the purpose of the organization sponsoring the site. Look for an agenda. Are documents slanted in some way to persuade you? If the purpose of the website is to persuade, you should examine the material very closely before accepting it as fact. And let's look at that again. Examine the material very closely before accepting it as fact. 5 key questions. This is a review. You've seen it before. What? What is the primary source? Is it a photo? If so, is it black and white or color? Is it a letter? If so, is it typed or handwritten? Who? Who wrote the letter, took the photo, or painted the painting? Can you be sure it was really that person who made it? When? When was the primary source created? How can you tell its age? Where? Can you tell where the primary source was created? Why? Why was the primary source created? Does it tell a story? Is it a love letter? Is there an order from is it an order from an officer to a soldier? Is it a picture of the Rocky Mountains? Does the primary source tell you why it was created? Can you guess why it was created? And then we go into secondary sources. Secondhand published accounts are called secondary sources. They are called secondary sources because they are created after primary sources, and they often use or talk about primary sources. Secondary sources can give additional opinions, sometimes called bias, on the past event or on a primary source. Secondary sources often have many copies found in libraries, schools, or homes. All the following can be secondary sources if they tell of an event that happened a while ago. History textbooks, biographies, published stories, movies or documentaries of historical events, art, and music recordings.